Hi everyone, George back with another video. Quite a nice day out today. Golf is cancelled, so we'll have to go for a walk, I guess, in between watching football. Okay, so it was record store day yesterday. I was always swithering whether I would go or not because there's only one record I really quite fancied. I didn't think I'd get it anyway, so I had a wee sort of backup what I would maybe get if they didn't have it, and didn't fancy any. So anyway, went in, set my alarm for 4 o'clock, got up at 3:30, got to shop at 5:15, shop opened at 8, going to shop at 8:45, was out back in my car by 9. So yeah, I got it. Kenny Dorham, Quiet Kenny, nice jazz album, recording 59 I think. Kenny Dorham trumpet, Tommy Flanagan piano, Paul Chambers bass, and Art Taylor on drums. 7 tracks. Treble A and Craft Records. Nice album. I thought I was going in paying £25 for this. Maybe I seen the American price, but it was like about £35, £36. Anyway, I was glad to get it. So my backup, and I thought, well, I'll probably buy these two while I'm there, and I'm waiting in the queue, and I went, nah, maybe not get that two, I'll get that other two, because I'll pick up these later on anyway. They're probably easy to pick up. And but anyway, Steely Dan was in my head. I was going to get 3 albums, and 2 Against Nature. This was their comeback album after 20 years, recording 2000. There was limited release on vinyl in Germany, and these copies go for about £200. What was that? £27 I paid for that. Sorry, the Kenny Dorham, the price is on the front. I paid £34 for that. So, shrinking off, yeah, 27 for this. A double album. Just black vinyl. Only on 3 sides, and a pretty shitty etching on side 4. Why they don't put a couple of tracks on the back, the B side, I don't know. Stretch out. I mean, there's 9 tracks, so they could stick a track on or 2. Yeah, it's a good album. Enjoyed it. Nice to complete your collections, I guess. 3 years later, I mean, you can't buy one without the other, really, if they're there, can you? Everything must go. Again, quite a good album. Insert. Walter Becker actually sings on one track in here. Probably not as good as the other album. Price is on £21 I paid for this. £20. Good album, nice to add to the collection. So when I was waiting in the queue, 3.5 hours or so to look at the RSD list, and I was going to dump them, I thought, why don't I dump them and get the police? Anyway, I was standing in the queue, and I got my albums, and I just nearly paid for them, and I just said to the guy, give me the two police while I'm here. One point I was only going to get one. This is live in Boston, 1979. And the reason I couldn't leave this one behind is it had one of my favourite Police tracks, Bring On The Night. But yeah, I got the other one. Police live in Atlanta, Volume 2, 1983. And sonically, this is a lot better sounding album. Old Sting there. luscious red vinyl. Police, really good, really good. My mate will be jealous, he's a good Police fan. Doesn't do Record Store Day, so be able to play them to him. And the other one I decided to get when I was standing in the queue, and I'm a real sucker, as you know, for box sets. So I got the Wire, what they're calling it, PF 456 Deluxe. This is two 10-inch records, LPs, 4 tracks I think a side, and a 7-inch single. So that's the track list in there. And this was released after a 9-year hiatus, and you get a book inside, really nicely done. 10-inch single, Wire, fantastic, punky, industrial. Now Wire recorded their first few albums in high-end London studios. This was done in a garage, and it's basically a selection of EPs and singles that they've released for gigs and whatever round about the time, just to test the water. Quite industrial, punky, garage band, brilliant, actually really good, quite raw. But some of the bass and the drums on this was about 60 to 62 pounds, I think. Very good. So that was my RSD buys, and I got 4 other buys, few in the last week. Another Kenny Durham album, Blue Note 80s, recorded in 1963-4. Kenny Durham, Joe Henderson, tenor sax, Tommy Flanagan again, piano, Richard Davis bass, and Albert Heath on drums. Nice Blue Note album. And the second Blue Note 80s I got was Think by Lonnie Smith, Lee Morgan and David Newman. This was recorded, I think, around about 1969. Really funky. A period when the Blue Note and jazz guys were gone more into fusion and funk. There's quite a big band on here, well, maybe about 8 congas. And Lonnie Smith on organ takes a wee bit. He takes his leads, but he gives everybody a shot, and he plays, you know, in the background a lot. 5 tracks. Son of Icebag, the first track, is a song written by Hugh Masekela. And Think on side 2 by Aretha Franklin. Lonnie Smith, Think, really good album. Next off, Blood, Sweat and Tears, a Mo-Fi One Step. Now I'm just picking these one steps up now. I wasn't going to buy any more. Stop pre-ordering them because they're easy to pick up. It's a 3-step, that's a normal process recording. Got an insert in here, Blood, Sweat and Tears. I think it's the first or second album. A couple of nice pictures, real high gloss quality. This is LP 1 of 2, both in 40, played at 45. And I thought I didn't know Blood, Sweat and Tears, but there's obviously a couple of singles on this that I do know. Quite a strange album at first, you know. So they do a bit Eric Satie to start off with and finish with, and then they've got the 2 singles, Spinning Wheel and You've Made Me So Very Happy, which I knew, I didn't realise. And the album goes in between, sort of like starts classical, bit country, bit psych, and wasn't really sure. It's a bit of a strange listen at first. By the end of the LP, I was really enjoying it. So that's Blood, Sweat and Tears on a MoFi. And really, you don't have to pre-order these MoFi One Steps anymore. They're easily available. You did before because they only sold to the public. Now they're making more of them. And the dealers, they're selling to the dealers now. They're getting their hands on them. Readily available. You don't have to pre-order 4 months or 6 months in advance, whatever it is. That's just for their ego. 5,530 of 6,000 of these. And I bought it under the market price in the UK, what they're selling for. Great sounding and a real interesting album with a band I didn't really know. Going to enjoy that more. And last but not least is the Impulse Records 60th anniversary box set, 4 LPs, and I've got 2,512 out of who knows, because I can't find a figure anywhere. So you get two double albums, 4 albums. And on this one we have, signed one is just John Coltrane, Africa, absolutely fantastic. Max Roach, Quincy Jones, Coltrane again, Evelyn Jones, Jimmy Garrison Sextet, John Coltrane again, Charles Mingus, Shirley Scott, Yusuf Lateef, Archie Shepp, Stanley Turrentine, Errol Hines and Oliver Nelson on this double album. And the second double album, so 2 double albums. This is pressed at QPR, which is Analog Productions, although I'd imagine they're probably off a digital source. Pharoah Sanders, John Coltrane with Alice, Hamid Jamal Trio, Albert Ayler, Charlie Hayden, Alice Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, Archie Shepp, Michael White, Julie Redman, Marion Brown and John Handy. Really nice. So you've got quite a mixture of political jazz and spiritual jazz. Really enjoyed it. It's a nice gateway into Impulse Records if you don't. I've not got too much on the Impulse. You get this wee bag. It's an Impulse catalogue. So there's loads of the old adverts from back in the 60s. About the story of Impulse Records and John Coltrane, who was their main guiding light, I guess. A useless slip mat. And just a sheet telling you what's on the record. So yeah, I swithered on this for a few weeks. Let one go a bit cheaper on eBay. Yes, and they're not cheap. You know, they're but really good. Sound quality is fantastic, and it's called Music, Message and the Moment. Make of that what you will. Fantastically. Okie doke. Have a good weekend and a good week. Catch you later. Bye now.